Hector Luis Garcia, Lamont Roach. Fight prediction time. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Catch me live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. I'm also live Sunday morning with the Singing OG KC Boxing Network at 9 a.m. Central Time. Hit me up if you want to debate too. Knockoutboxing86@yahoo.com is the email. Join the channel as a member. Drop super chats and super thanks when you come by the live streams and the videos that we do. But let's get it cracking. Hector Luis Garcia versus Lamont Roach. 12-round WBA 130-pound title on the line, bro. Hector Luis Garcia, 32 years old, out of Dominican Republic, southpaw fighter, 5'9", with a 67-inch arm reach, 16 wins, 1 loss, 10 wins by way of knockout. He been stopped 1 time. Tank Davis knocked his ass blind, bro. Lamont Roach, 5'7", 68-inch arm reach, out of D.C., Orthodox fighter, 28 years old, 23 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, with 9 wins by way of knockout. This is a good little fight right here, boy. This is a good scrap. Boxer puncher in Hector Luis Garcia against a boxer with a little bit of punching power in Lamont Roach, but better foot movement, better angles. Overall, more defensively skilled and faster than Hector Luis Garcia. But Hector Luis Garcia is probably the bigger puncher and more down to win a brawl between the two. He'll sit in the pocket with you and he'll bang. He's a former Olympian, but Lamont Roach also has a great amateur pedigree. Hector Luis Garcia only lost to the creme de la creme and Tank Davis, but he was coming off of wins against Roger Gutierrez, coming off a win against Chris Colbert. Questions that you have to have about Lamont Roach in this fight: can he get out the way of a straight left hand? He's obviously had problems with southpaws before, losing his only loss to Jamel Herring back in 2019. Jamel Herring and Hector Luis Garcia. I consider Hector Luis Garcia a better fighter than Jamel Herring. He hits harder. They both kind of sit in front of you as southpaws, but his left hand is a bigger left hand, and he just has more of an amateur pedigree and more experience being a former Olympian than Jamel Herring. So I think he's a little bit better than Jamel Herring, but I also think Lamont Roach wasn't as good as he is now, wasn't as sure of himself. And Jamel Herring, when he was younger, back in 2019, 4 years ago, 32, 33 years old, was a good fighter, bro. And so Lamont Roach can lean on that experience and now maybe fight a southpaw a little bit better. So you do worry about Lamont Roach's his ability to beat a southpaw, because his only loss came to a southpaw. For Hector Luis Garcia, you got to worry about what's your confidence looking like, because guys, when they fight Tank Davis, they don't really look as good, bro. Specifically the ones that get knocked out. You know what I mean? Like Isaac Cruz, after he fought Tank, knocked out Eduardo Ramirez, knocked out Yuriorkis Gamboa. He looked like shit against Giovanni Cabrera, but he didn't really, look like he had any signs of deterioration. But you look at Rolly Romero, after Tank Davis, he don't even fight the same, bro. And he took that same type of real quick shot that Hector Garcia took, where it's just like, oh, Tank is just throwing. You think it's all good, and it's just a normal punch, then bam, motherfucker is falling into the ropes if you roll the Romero, and then you get up and you twisting your ankle, and then now what happens to you? Now you're going in sparring. Dudes is you're usually known for having a real good chin and being durable and being aggressive. Motherfuckers knocking you out with 16-ounce gloves on, headgear on, and got you falling into the ropes, and then you're getting put down by Barroso, a 78-year-old grandpa, and they had to help you out by giving you a phantom knockout in that fight that you was losing, and you fought that fight with no confidence. You trying to jab and box now when you was a wrecking ball coming forward and shit. You don't do that no more. Tamed your ass. Same thing with Leo Santa Cruz. What's Leo Santa Cruz been up to, bro? What he been up to since the Tank Davis knockout? He came back and got a win against a club level fighter in Arizona. No disrespect. I think his name's like Carabal or Carbajal or whatever. But Leo been chilling since Tank cut his lights out. And then you got Hector Luis Garcia, where Tank knocked him blind, but then he didn't do the Ryan Garcia and stay down. He took even more punishment, and then couldn't even come out the corner and shit. And when somebody do you something in a way to where you don't even come out the corner, now we got to see if you're going to have that same confidence to throw at the same time. You're going to have that same willingness to trade and sit down on your punches, and just the mentality and the ability to take a punch. You know, Lamont Roach ain't the biggest puncher, but he a sharp puncher. He can catch you with things that you don't see with his timing and counter punching ability. And did Tank loosen your screws a little bit? Did he loosen your jaw a little bit? So that's the word for Hector Luis Garcia and Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach facing the southpaw. Hector Luis Garcia, are there any ill effects from the fight that he had with Gervonta Tank Davis earlier this year, back in January of 2023? Paths to victory, I think that Hector Luis Garcia got to find a way to get that left hand off that brick hand, and he got to find a way to make Lamont Roach stay in front of him. And they sit in the pocket. He needs the fight to look how his fight with Tank looked, how the fight with Chris Colbert looked, where he can get some straight lefts, get that nice right hook that he got, and where it's not as much movement because his feet aren't as good as Lamont Roach. He doesn't move as well. He can't throw punches off of different angles like Lamont Roach can. He don't have a versatile defense like Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach is the overall better boxer. Hector Luis Garcia got to turn it into a bit of a brawl. And he got to hurt Lamont Roach and hope that he loses his composure and see if he either stop him or kind of take charge that way and put Lamont Roach in a whole spin cycle where he just want to run, don't want to engage. And now you being aggressive, now you dictating the action and things like that. But he got to slow the pace of the fight down. And by pace of the fight, I'm not talking about how many punches. I'm not talking about how many punches is thrown in the fight. He need to slow the pace of the fight down by he can't allow Lamont Roach to be comfortable moving laterally, kind of picking his spots, seeing what he want to do. I'm a jab here, might jump in with an overhand right. Okay, now I done landed something, let me get in, throw this nice combination to the body, use my upper body movement, make you miss, and then we right back to it where it's clear to the judges Lamont Roach is piecing them up and outscoring them. So he gotta find a way to slow them feet down. For Lamont Roach, fight the fight on your terms, bro. And that's true of any fighter, but specifically for Lamont Roach, there's a path to him just 9-3 performance of his career, becoming a world champion. There's a path to where he can just look good in this fight. And that is use your lateral movement, circle into your left to get away from his straight left hand. And when you're using that, look to get your straight right hand off, work the jab, and just always be on the move. Come in at different angles, jump in with body shots. Make sure your head movement is on point. And Lamont Roach got that from a shoulder roll to a high guard to using head movement while having a high guard up, parrying shots away. Lamont Roach is a skilled practitioner, bro. He can fight. He can fight, and you got to make this a fight, a skill, make it a thinking fight. Not a boring fight. It's a difference between a boring fight and a thinking fight. Make it a thinking fight. If you make it a thinking fight, you'll have a lot of success in there with Hector Luis Garcia, bro. You will. It's crazy, right? Because a lot of times when you come to the channel, I'll pick a guy who I think can win multiple ways. I honestly, though, only think Hector Luis Garcia can win by knockout. And I only think that Lamont Roach can win by outboxing Hector Luis Garcia. As far as who I'm picking and why, when you really just look at these two fighters and kind of what they do well and the way that their styles match up, I just see a fight where Hector's going to have a hard time hitting Lamont Roach clean. I think he's going to have a hard time with the movement, the defensive responsibility, the different ways that Lamont Roach is getting his offense off while still being defensively responsible and not making any mistakes, not giving him nothing. And he doesn't have the advantage of reach. I don't see him being able to get his jab going because Lamont Roach is a really good defensive fighter. So I just see a fight where Lamont Roach just outboxes him. Hector has his moments in the fight, gets some rounds here and there. But overall, I think the challenge is going to take the champion's belt on Saturday night, man. I think a lot of question marks from the Tank Davis fight. I think a little of that will kind of get rid of some of that aggression. You won't see the same guy that fought Chris Colbert. You won't see the same guy that fought Roger Gutierrez. And he kind of boxed with Roger Gutierrez. Roger Gutierrez is not nowhere near the boxer that Lamont Roach is, bro. Nowhere near the boxer that Lamont Roach is. Lamont Roach, he's not as fast as Chris Colbert, but he's on that same level of speed, but except for a real dog and real defense. None of that showboat, flashy bullshit where it's all fake and all smoke and mirrors. This is a legit foundation with legit amateur experience, with legit high guard, legit head movement, legit anticipatory skills. The only thing Lamont Roach, his only weakness is that he don't hit hard, really, bro. Everything else, he pretty good at. He ain't great at everything, but he pretty good at everything. And the things that he good at, I think, are some of the weaknesses that Hector has, specifically the feetness and the ability to take different angles and move around the ring and not having to be planted to get your offense off. I think that's going to be a key in the fight. So I'm picking Lamont Roach to win by decision, and become a world champion, man. Y'all let me know who y'all got. Comment below, smash the like, sub to the channel. Catch y'all next time. Peace out.